of specialist officers, public duty officers, so that we'll have enough officers to deal with this where we need them.
Tories have failed us completely, betrayed us completely. Labour are utterly hopeless. You all know the country's going down the tubes.
For the UK National Crime Agency, and advanced data exploitation improvements for the NCA to boost our collaboration with European partners. Building to this for 4 years, we're confident we have a plan that can move our country forward, end the cost of living crisis.
Starmer just postponed 13 local elections, and it's sending shockwaves through British politics. This isn't just a procedural delay, it's a calculated move that reeks of panic as Reform UK surges in the polls. In today's video, I'm breaking down why this emergency announcement matters to you, what it reveals about Labour's true fears, and how it connects to the Brexit promises we're still waiting to see fulfilled. The timing couldn't be more suspicious. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favour. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now back to the video. Remember 2016? The heady days of Brexit promises painted a magnificent picture. Economic prosperity through global trade deals signed at lightning speed, absolute control over our borders, and liberation from the stifling bureaucracy of Brussels.
In doing so, not just do the right thing, but maybe mend some fences between this government and the incoming
Wanton violence alongside racist rhetoric. So no, I won't shy away from calling it what it is. Far-right thuggery.
Boris Johnson and his allies championed a vision where Britain would stand proud and independent, forging its own path on the world stage. They sold us freedom. They promised sovereignty, they guaranteed prosperity. Fast forward to today, and the contrast couldn't be more stark. Those sunlit uplands have given way to a rather gloomy economic landscape. British businesses now struggle with mountains of paperwork just to ship goods across the Channel. Trade barriers have cost our economy an estimated £40 billion annually, while critical sectors face persistent staffing shortages. Meanwhile, inflation continues to squeeze household budgets across the country, hitting ordinary families hardest.
The days of this project are over. We want to live in nation states, not false, artificial creations.
It is organised, violent thuggery, and it has no place on our streets or online.
Public sentiment has undergone a remarkable shift as these realities have set in. Recent YouGov polling shows that 57% of voters now believe Brexit was a mistake, a significant increase from just after the referendum. This frustration cuts across traditional political lines, with even conservative strongholds reporting growing disillusionment. Enter Keir Starmer, whose position on Brexit resembles a political contortionist's act. After campaigning vigorously against leaving the EU and pushing for a second referendum, he's now claiming he can somehow make Brexit work without explaining how. His 5-point plan carefully avoids any specifics on leveraging Brexit freedoms or addressing the trade barriers crippling British exporters. Labour's communication strategy reveals volumes about their Brexit anxiety. Analysis of their press releases over the past 6 months shows the word Brexit appears just 4 times, a stunning omission for what remains the defining political issue of our generation. Instead, they've launched an elaborate dance of distraction, focusing on culture war issues while the economic fallout continues.
Coordinated, we went through some of the numbers. Over 400 people now have been arrested, 100 have been charged, some in relation to online activity.
Law and order, folks, on our streets is breaking down. This Prime Minister hasn't got an earthly clue how to deal with it.
This political manoeuvring directly connects to Starmer's latest bombshell, the postponement of 13 local mayoral elections. The timing's hardly coincidental. Recent polling by Survation shows Reform UK surging to 18% in several former Labour strongholds, particularly in the North East and Midlands, areas that voted heavily for Brexit but now feel betrayed by both major parties. The evidence points to one conclusion: Starmer's election delay represents a desperate attempt to buy time as voters increasingly reject Labour's failure to deliver on Brexit's economic promises. By pushing these contests back, Labour hopes to weather the current storm of disapproval and perhaps engineer some economic improvement to blunt Reform UK's momentum. As Starmer frantically postpones electoral judgment day, a political earthquake is quietly reshaping Britain's forgotten heartlands. In places like Essex and Kent, once reliable Labour territories are slipping away, as Nigel Farage builds something that has Labour strategists waking in cold sweats, a genuine alternative for voters who feel betrayed by unfulfilled Brexit potential. Reform UK has methodically positioned itself as the true guardian of Brexit's original vision.
But give us in a few years' time the kind of government we need to turn round the decline in this country. Don't just think Elon or Nick Candy are going to save us.
We're all in it together. The people who hurt your family finances swanning around in the House of Lords after giving tax cuts to the richest 1% that crashed our economy. Don't forget any of it.
With Farage relentlessly emphasising one critical element that's been notably absent from Labour's playbook: ambitious international trade relationships. While Westminster elites nervously monitor Reform's surprising surge, the party's laser focus on establishing robust UK-US trade partnerships has struck a chord with disillusioned voters seeking tangible economic benefits. The political transformation occurring in traditional Labour strongholds isn't merely theoretical. It's backed by hard polling data showing Reform UK not just competing, but actually pulling even with Labour candidates in areas that would have been unthinkable just months ago. This dramatic shift speaks volumes about the growing frustration among working-class communities who've watched their economic prospects stagnate while political promises evaporate. What makes Farage's strategy particularly effective is its contrast with Starmer's approach, where Labour offers cautious, non-committal positions on international trade. Reform UK presents specific proposals for establishing deeper economic ties with the United States. This stark difference has become a significant point of contention among voters who expected more from their post-Brexit government.
Those communities have little faith or trust or belief that government can make their lives better. Indeed, what I found knocking on doors were people saying, we want to work.
Whatever the apparent motivation, this is not protest, it is pure violence, and we will not tolerate attacks on mosques or our Muslim communities.
The evidence of Reform UK's momentum comes directly from the communities most affected by Brexit's incomplete implementation. In Lanarkshire, a resident captured the sentiment driving this political realignment perfectly. Reform at least talks straight. This simple statement reflects a profound shift as voters increasingly prioritise concrete economic solutions over abstract political ideologies. Reform UK's electoral strategy doesn't rely on complex political theory, but instead focuses on addressing the everyday concerns of people who feel abandoned by mainstream parties. By framing trade deals and economic policies as direct solutions to Brexit's unfulfilled promises, Farage has created a compelling narrative that resonates particularly in working-class areas that have historically voted Labour. The connection between Reform UK's unexpected surge and Starmer's panicked election delay isn't coincidental. It's causal. As Reform gains traction by offering voters a bridge between Brexit disappointment and a practical way forward, Labour's desperate attempts to buy time reveal just how seriously they view this emerging threat.
Building to this for 4 years, we're confident we have a plan that can move our country forward, end the cost of living crisis.
There were people around him that thought it was the right thing that I came.
I thought you were giving all your time to Clacton now as its newest MP.
Well, I'm allowed to come to America on a trip like this, particularly in these circumstances.
So here we stand at a critical juncture in British politics. The upcoming local elections won't just determine who sits in council chambers across the UK, they'll serve as a referendum on our entire democratic system. Voters are increasingly feeling that the political establishment has rigged the game, with Starmer's delay only confirming their suspicions. The real stakes couldn't be higher. These elections will reveal whether Reform UK's momentum represents a genuine shift in political consciousness or merely a temporary protest vote. Either way, the message is clear. The public demands accountability, not more manipulation. What happens next will shape Britain's post-Brexit identity for generations to come.